and this actually shows us the damage that's actually behind this wing. So looking at the seal, we can see the seal has gone on this car, been repaired, budged. Also we can see this splash plate, and also the one around the front has also gone, and also the wing strengthener up here. I've actually cut the top of this off already, but although this side seems to be okay, we've got a small hole here that we might have to patch up, but this will all need to be cut out. Brake fluid, which has resulted in severe rust of that area. I think again, once again, that's quite common. So we've cut along here, we've cut down and across to take out this part of the section to expose the damage here. We've also cut along here and here, whereupon this section down here was rusted. This is a plate that someone's put in that needs to be removed, and the damage to this area can then be attended to now that we've got the majority of it clear. Having cut the wing strengthener off, which we've just done, you'll find we've also got to clean up around here, and also there's a hole opened up under here which we're going to need to sort this area. Now we've removed the section here now and cleaned up. Looks like we've got a bit of more repair work to do down here. This will all need to be cut away and redone. What you can see is we've squared off the section where it was badly damaged, and we've made a small plate that we're going to fit in here. It's now completed. So I've just cut out this section here. We're going to remove this, make a plate for here, and then make the curved plate for underneath, because this section is okay and this section is gone. So hopefully we're going to make a curved section to carry on all the way down. That's the repair on that section done. We're going to do some welding on the inside just to neaten it up. Obviously this side is practically covered by the wing strengthener, and then also the underseal that needs to be on there, so I guess this side doesn't matter so much. The bulkhead sheet, we've just put the nuts on the back for the brake and clutch cylinder. So we've got the door pillar cleaned up at the bottom here, removed all the rust. Obviously the back area still needs to be done, as you can see it's all the way through, but the front side doesn't seem to be too bad. So we've made a bracket to go in here, and we're going to weld this in place so that we've got something for the seal to actually fit down to. So I've just fitted the castle section in place, and we're not 100% sure where it should line up with until we actually deal with the front of this section here, which is just behind the wheel arch. So what we're going to do here is, because we've got some rust issues around this area here, we're going to cut a straight line all the way down, cut all the way around here and all the way around to where it meets the floor. Most of the floor's out and there's just a small section of the floor. The rest of it looks okay around there, so once we've got that cut out, we can then look at putting a new sheet on that end. So we've actually got somewhere to put the inner step seal and the castle section back on. Prior to doing that, we're going to have to fit the clutch and brake fluid panel that goes in there, which we've actually cut away because that was rotten where the brake fluid had obviously leaked. So first things first, we're going to cut this section straight, probably make a plate to go in there, then we're going to have to fit the clutch and brake fluid and where the accelerator and the pedals go down back in, and then we can look at doing this edge to find out where this part should actually end without guessing, so that we get it right. Part behind the arch where we need to build this up, and what we've done is we've put a small triangle section made in paper in AutoCAD, made it in cardboard first as we have done before, and we just need to check that it's going to be roughly correct. So with this plate, just to demonstrate how it's going to fit. So this is the part behind the front wheel where the outrigger comes out, which we've put onto the back plate. Not too worried about the finish because obviously this is just behind the wheel. Right, so having just positioned the side splash panel, we've decided to cut along this area here because the actual part of the car looks reasonably solid there, and I think it's going to make it more difficult to take that off than it is just to simply cut that off there. We've cut this part of the new splash panel off as well because that looked to be more tricky to replace than just to cut that side off, and we've cut all the way down here on the back side. This is the original panel that's rusted, so we've practically cut all the way around, and also on the top to match up. And now we just need to take these spot welds off here, and there's a couple of spot welds on this part here. Remove the splash panel side now. We've tidied up the edge so that we can put a bit of spray through weld on there just to keep it from going rusty again, and that'll be another piece that we're ready to put on as and when we're ready to do it, which at this moment in time we're not quite sure in what order it should go, but I'm sure it's going to come to light. So what we're doing is actually making all the different panels so that when we do come to pop it together, we know that at least they're all going to fit. This section here at the bottom here needs to be cut, and this is needed to be replaced. We're just going to fabricate this, and also we've still got the fabrication of this to do, which we can do when we've got the top plate in there. So with a few of these plates now clamped in place, we're going to repair the bottom of this section here. We're going to need to cut through, but what we've already done is, prior to cutting through, we've already made a bracket to go in there, and so all we're going to do is position this roughly where it is, score the line, and just literally cut through, and that will go in place when we also do the other side, which we've got to do this section down here. Right, you can see we've now got that plate positioned in there where we've cut the last bit that we're going to keep remaining there, and that just needs a couple of welds in it now to hold it in place. And that's now welded in place with a bit of spray on it just to ensure that it doesn't rust while we prepare the next part. The process for doing the next part was exactly the same, so I didn't show all of that being clamped up, but there it's in place, welded up, ready for the next part of the job. So here we've cut a new accelerator bracket because this old one didn't look like it was going to go. It's not necessary to do this sort of stuff, cleaning up pedals and stuff like that, because really they're not that bad. It just makes it a lot easier to work with when everything's clean and painted. Which we can do once the tack welds are on, and then if everything fits as it should do, we can then look at welding it properly. But at the moment I'm so unsure as to which one should go on first, so I think we've just got to dive in and hope for the best. Right, just on the end of the sill now, we've actually put a couple of welds in here, and we've actually welded up this section along here all the way around. So I've got all the tack welds on there now, and it's all in nice and straight, and so we're just now making sure that these plug welds are down, and we've got to do it here as well, make sure before we plug weld them in. So it's all welded up in place, and it looks like we've got a bit of scuffing off to do just to neaten things up a little bit, and then we can put some paint on it. So I'm just preparing to fit the splash panel, and what I'm using is a laser line in order to mark up the panel when I put it on, so that we know that the plug welds will go in the right place. Additional folding and forming to actually get it to fit properly. So let's start with the first butt weld. So that's all now welded on, and we're going to put some paint on it just to stop it from going rusty. We're going to call it a day there, and we'll do the splash panel. Right, as you can see, this has all been rubbed down now. Probably better than it needed to be honest, but just fancied a bit of practice scurfing off and trying to do a neatish job.